So today we're gonna do a lid and the various lid. Basically, idea of a lid is as simple is you need to make sure you have, if you have, it says if you have a simple lid. Now this is a simple lid. That means there's no bottom flange that need to be like this. There's no bottom flange right here. So these are the simple lid. So when you have a simple lid, you need to put it on a complex flange. Means curl up a little bit, so you put it on top. So that is the most efficient way to make a simple lid with a complex flange. Vice versa, you can make a complex lid, which is a little come out like this. You can see the indentations right in here. That means it's gonna fit in something. Therefore, you need to fit into a simple flange right in here. Okay. So the variations is you're gonna have a simple lid with a complex flange. Complex lid with a simple flange. Now, you cannot have a simple lid with a simple flange. Why? It will kind of slide off. However, can you have a complex lid with a complex flange? Absolutely, absolutely, you can do that. Just a little extra. So if you keep that in mind, simple with the complex. If you have a simple, if you have a complex lid with a simple flange, or a simple lid with a complex flange, and the rest of it is kind of easy. Now we're gonna start with a demo on making maybe a simple lid right in here. Okay. So first, I'm gonna start throwing on the hum right in here, and actually, remember the bat, the long thick one. Okay, the long one, down. Yeah. So I'm gonna start with this. Yeah, perfect. So this is called throw on the hum, and it's very easy to do the demo. Thank you very much. So right in here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squeeze enough of clay, and then I always kind of like to make a lid first, because allow me to kind of grab around it. So some people, you know, have various stuff. I don't use a calibers just because I use a little bit, not too much. But here you go. This is our simple lid. So I make a little knots right here, just like this one right here. Okay. So I make a little knot. Now I'm gonna squeeze the clay right here. I'm gonna flare the clay out, almost like throwing the little plate right in here. And it depends on the size of the lid that you want it. So I throw a little bit like a cup shape. Yeah. So this will be my knob right in here. This right in here, and it's a little solid right in there, so I don't quite like them. And so what I do is I'm gonna throw these edges up. I'm gonna hold my hand underneath it, and I'm gonna compress down like that. See right here? Raise up just a little bit. Right there. Now the next things I would do, probably I will using a needle tool, if I can find it, right in here. So I'm gonna use a needle tool, and I'm gonna make the indentations right on the bottom here. So it's very quick and handsome. A little lid. Okay. What I do is now this part is very important. That I like to be able to make a simple lid. You need to cut about right here. You can cut. If I cut right down below, I'm having a complex lid, right? So I need to make sure I'm going to go down here. I'm going to cut it right about right there. See it? Right there. So if I run the wire like this, run the button underneath it, pull straight towards me. Make sure my hand is dry. So I'm going to pick this one up, and that is a simple lid right in here. See right here? One more time. What? It's funny? Is that funny? Okay, one more time. Squeeze it a little bit like that, because the knob is just easier to hold. I'm going to squeeze the clay right in here. Okay, depends what I want it. I'm gonna make sure I compress this edges right here. Right? I can even make a little design right in here, so make it nice. Then I'm gonna use my tool right here, just because the reason I did this step is because it's a solid mass of clay in there. So I do this just because it kind of look good, and then it looks kind of, very mechanical. Okay, so that would be a simple lid. And again, I'm using my favorite galvanized tools that I cut it like this. I'm gonna go down right there, right? I'm gonna cut it right there. I'm using my wire, runs underneath it right here, just pull straight towards me. When I pick up the clay, always dry my hand, okay? Again, this should be a nice, simple lid. Wow. You can actually kind of trim it a little bit, okay? So that is a simple lid. Now, there's a variation of making a complex lid. So right in here. One way of making a complex lid, I'm going to show you how to do this one, is what I'm going to show. Okay, right here. So this will be a complex lid. Okay, so it's almost the reason is because this one right here, if I have a simple flange and I have a complex, so this is actually sets in. See right here? And that's how you do it, a complex lid. So this one kind of hitting underneath it, kind of nice. But this is the complex lid I'm gonna make. So I'm gonna start with the bigger lumber clay. Okay. I'm gonna squeeze it the same way. Right here.
Yeah, if you're walking in front of Dollar Tree.
Okay. Now I'm gonna squeeze the clay up right here. Almost I want to throw a cylinder. Okay. So right now, I'm going to bring this clay up. I'm going to bring the outside clay, I'm going to bring them straight up.
And then you look and then...
Right in here. See it? I'm going to do it again one more time. From the bottom, and then going to bring it up.
Yeah, that's right.
Right,
No, but
right in here. But if you
see
look at the clay right in here.
Yeah.
So this is the bottom of my base right here. So I want to make sure. I keep a little line. Hey! Hey, turn down loud. Thank you.
Alright, I have a button. You want to turn it?
So I'm gonna start doing a compress like this with the angle, like that. And this is my marking right here. Thank you. So I did this is because right now I can see the depth of inside and the depth and the outside, so I know where to cut it. Right? Now this is still not a lid yet. To make a lid is, I'm gonna gently hold my hand right here. I'm gonna throw my clay down like that. Now I'm gonna compress the edges right in here. So this will be my complex lid right in here. Again, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna straight down right there. Make a little indentations right there. Okay. Now that in this case right in here. This list I'm gonna measure on the outside right flange. This area is gonna be where the distance of this outside right here, not the lid part. This part right here is where I'm gonna put it. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cut it right here. Okay. Make sure my hand is dry before you start it. But again, that will be my complex lid. And again, this is where it's gonna fit, right here in between. So therefore, you probably want to measure this when you're making a complex. Simple, the French. Okay, one more. You can also do a upside down complex lid. All right. So that means, getting a little confused now? I'm gonna have this one right here. Alright, so I'm gonna throw the ball and I'm gonna bring this edge in to make a complex lid. Once I'm done, I trim it, I flip it upside down, and then add a knob on top. And to rethrow it, you can do a score and slip. The part is, you can throw it like this way. Okay, you can also throw it this way. It's a little challenging, but you can throw it this way probably easier because everybody know how to make bowl, right? So this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do this right in here. I'm gonna put it in, make a little bowl shape. And it again depends on what kind of width of your jar that you want to make, the lid jar, okay? So I'm gonna compress it. Make sure you compress with your lid, yeah? In here. Now, on the outside, I can actually throw a little more right in here, one more time. So again, I'm gonna try to make that little jar. So now, here, this part, I'm gonna kind of trim off a little bit. But now I'm gonna do this, is from here, I'm gonna push right here, gonna finger in, see it? Now I'm creating that flange. So now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna compress it down. So that would be my complex lid. See it?
So you want to leave the walls pretty thick then?
A little bit, but you know, if it's getting too thick, you can always trim out. Like this one is probably a little too much of a foot, but it might be look good. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually using my tools, kind of go down in a sideway like that. You can see it, and I'm gonna cut it this way. So when I'm done, I can put it on my jar and I can trim it. And right here, we'll go like this. Okay. Again, my hand needs to be dry. But now, your calabash, you're gonna use the measurement right here, in this distance, to put it in the jar. See right here? You can't measure it right here. If you measure it right here, this part won't fit. Does that make sense? So you always need to make sure this part. Why do we want to taper like this? If you have a 90-degree, when they shrink, it might shift it, so you won't fit. So you don't have to taper that much. But at least when this one's done, you're gonna let them dry, flip it upside down, and you're gonna put it right back in here. It's perfect, and you trim it. That will be your complex upside down lid jar. Yeah? Right here. Now, what else? Now, how are you gonna make, so we have a complex lid. Now we need a complex lid. We have also simple lid. Simple lid. Yeah. There you go. So we have this simple lid right here, right? And I said, simple lid, you need to have complex flange, right? Complex flange. So this is what I'm gonna do for complex. So I'm gonna push it down. Center, well, open, compress. And the reason I make the lid first is because now I can see how wide to pull according to my lid, right? So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna pull straight up one time, and again, I iron on this lid right in here. That's gonna put it up there. So when I throw with that in mind. Yes. So I'm gonna leave a marking again right here. That's my base. I'm gonna do it one more time. Right here. I'm gonna leave my rim a little thicker. Okay? I'm gonna do it one more time. Here. Right there. Alright. Are we good? So far? Yeah? So I'm having a simple lid. That means I need to have I need to have a simple lid. I need to have what? Complex flange. So right here, watch. I got my rim a little thick right here. I'm gonna use this tool. It's a 90-degree angle. It's really easy. All you need to do is put your hand underneath it. Okay? Of course, with that in mind, right? So I'm gonna break this in half. Watch. I'm gonna slightly taper in the outside right here. So that's gonna be my complex flange, right? Now I'm gonna take this, and that's the reason that I make my lid first, so I don't have to use my calibers. So what I need to do is just take this and measure it. Oh no, it's too big. But luckily, because I make my lid first, and so I can push this in a little more. Right? So I'm gonna do it again one more time. Now, perfect. Maybe a little more. Does it make sense? Yes. Alright. So now you can kind of go back in here. You can make a little indentations. Now the list is already done.
Like that.
So you're gonna do this one right here.
Oh, Jenchi.
So I'm gonna have this right in here. And again, this will be my little jar right in here. I'm gonna cut about right here, right? Okay. So I'm gonna pick this one up. Right. Now I need to make a simple flange to fit with my complex lid right here, right? Tight. Center again with that in mind. I'm looking at this distance right in here. Yeah. I actually don't like it. I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna make one more lid. A little smaller this time, maybe. Right here. So I'm gonna use my root right here. Okay. So again, to flipping it, I'm gonna gently lay this down. Yes.
Are you serious?
Right? And I'm gonna take this right in here. I'm gonna right.
Probably no one.
It's kind of cute.
Probably going to a Japanese restaurant. They're always looking.
Alright, so now I'm gonna take this simple complex lid with a simple flange. Center well, open, compress.
I have to wait. No. Oh, okay.
All I need is what? A simple flange. So this is a simple flange, is it? So I just need to make sure that this side, right here, I'm gonna cut it, separate. This is throw on the hump, and I hope you guys already know somewhat how to play with the throw on the hump. And then, since again, I don't have a caliber, you can use a caliber, or you just simply just take this and try to fit it. Oh man, it's not even close. So I'm gonna do this. Okay. This right here.
Yeah, one day talking to you when you go back.
Too big. Ah, perfect. Just a little bit more. Here you go. This is gonna be my complex lid with the simple flange. Look at that. And I'm gonna separate them. Great thing about that is because I can stretch it without so precise. Alright, so I'm gonna come back here and cut it. So that would be my simple, complex lip with my simple flange. Yeah? Alright, done. I'll leave it right here.